How's it going, guys? I'm Dan, here coming to you for Backstage Story. I'm here with Dan from The Wonder Years.
Hey.
What's your favorite song to play live?
I don't really like playing You're Not Salinger live because I get the front flip more often than not. And I really like playing Won't Be Pathetic Forever live because it's my favorite song.
Okay, that's fair. Do you have a favorite lyric? Like anything? Because, I mean, a lot of your songs are kind of about... they each have, like, a different theme, like one's about zombies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think a couple of my favorites are just My Friends and I Were All on the Inside. I really have always liked. I really like The Boys Are Slaying Bruce, but I've been slaying orange juice. I'm looking for the upsides to these panic attack nights where I'm staying and eating takeout food. We would wake up, I'd walk downstairs, kick him in the ribs, we'd go down to the basement. It was June, so it was probably like 95 degrees down there, 15 square foot basement. And we just lock ourselves down there and argue for hours, just fight over every part. Because everyone has a lot of different influences, and we wanted to make sure the record came out. Everyone wanted it to be the best record we've ever written. Obviously, I don't know who doesn't want that when they're writing a record, but so it's just a lot of push and pull. And if a part was important enough to me, it was going to make the record because I was not going to give up. And everyone had the same thought. So I think that all of the really important, really cool parts on the record ended up coming through. And we didn't want to ignore influences on this record just because they're not pop-punk bands. But we didn't want to also, I didn't want to write that Atari's Welcome to the Night record that everyone hates. If we're not going to play pop-punk, we're not going to be the Wonder Years. We'll just break up and start a new band if I want to write another different kind of music. I hate when bands do that. Everyone hates when bands do that. Very few bands can get away with that. The Starting Line got away with that. Yeah. But they're just that good. So we wanted to think of new creative ways to get it in. So there's influences from bands like Latterman and Thursday and, Goldfinger and the Hold Steady. But you might not hear them, but they're there because they influence the lyrics or they influence the flow of the record or they influence just kind of ideas. And yeah, and that's what I think really I wanted to have come out. So it's coming out January 26th. The pre-orders are going to go up at the end of November, and then you'll start hearing new songs. We're going to shoot a record for one. We're not on a big label. We don't have a big budget to advertise, so we're going to be doing a lot of cool grassroots things that everyone's welcome to get involved in. And I'm still burping up soy from earlier. I had Govinda's earlier, and I had the chicken cheesesteak, or the vegan chicken cheesesteak. It's haunting me. But yeah, the upsides, January 26th. That whole thing.
So you touched on songwriting for this new record. What about your older stuff? I mean, like you were saying, a lot of your stuff were songs about nothing, zombies and ninjas and stuff. Was it hard to write those songs for you, or was it just messing around? Was it a different...
Fucking fast, and the slow parts are slower than anything we've ever done. There's different instruments. There's ukulele, there's trombone, there's different guest vocals, and the old stuff we didn't dabble into that kind of thing. It was just, these are the instruments, these are the parts, this is how the style is written, and that's what we did.
So you've talked a lot about influences. What can you narrow down like your two or three biggest influences, musically anyway?
Um, Musically, I would say when the band started, we wanted to, I was just like, let's start a band that sounds like You've Found Glory. That'll be fun. Um, I think for me, Motion City Soundtrack is a giant one. Um, and kind of Your Favorite Weapon by Brand New, I feel like, is a record that influences us a lot musically. And then lyrically, um, a lot of poets like Bruce Andrews and Anselm Berrigan, and then bands like The Hold Steady and Motion City Soundtrack that write kind of serious lyrics but that are also funny. Um, this guy told me I had this independent study with his teacher named Stan McDonald, but he writes under the name Stan Muir, and he was telling me that one of his friends wrote this, I think, essay on writing. And he said that the only way to convey human emotion is through humor, and I think that's really true because even when we're at our lowest point, we're still cracking jokes, and that's kind of how we get a lot of things across. So I didn't want one-sided songs. I didn't want sad songs and happy songs. I wanted every emotion that I have at all times to be in every song. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest influences in itself. That quote in and of itself influences the band a lot.
Do you have any shows that stick out in your mind as like the best show you've ever played?
I have some shows that stick out as like, holy shit, that just happened. Um, I think, we played Moscow this summer. That was like, I'm in Russia. I just sold out this venue in Russia. We sold out this show in Detroit with fireworks. It was the first time we ever sold out a show not in Philly, and we headlined that, and that was crazy for me. The first time we played Newport, South Wales. The first time we played Dublin, Ireland. Just a lot of great memories from being on tour and playing these places where I never thought that anyone would want to see us or give a shit if they saw us. And then there was a lot of kids there, and they cared, and it made me feel like I'm not a pile of shit. What's up, John? We can edit him out, right?
Yeah. What's the best and worst thing about being part of this band?
The best thing about being part of this band is... Oh, no, it's all bad parts. Damn it. No, I don't know. I figured that I could, I finished my teaching degree, and we all finished college, and when I think about it, I look at Facebook, and I look at all my normal friends from high school, and, like, their lives are just, like, went to work, went to the bar after work, watched TV. The best part of this band is that I'm not stuck in some sort of fucking drudgery, like, Maddie from A Loss for Words was talking about it a lot on this tour, and it's the piebald lyric, we're nobody's robots, we're nobody's monkeys, and that's the best part about being in this band. Like, I don't have to listen to a boss, I don't have to, deal with any bullshit, I don't have to, worry about all that. But the worst part about being in the band is that it's the same thing. The flip side of that is that we're totally disconnected. We just, over the past 7 days, up until yesterday, we didn't sleep in a house 5 of them. We drove overnight 5 of those days. So it was just this, like, feeling of being out there alone. It's, especially driving back across the country from California back to the East Coast, there's nothingness. And I was just thinking, like, I could be in a warm bed with my girlfriend right now, and I wouldn't have to worry about money, and I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay my credit card bill or my cell phone bill. And, my laptop broke on this tour, and I was just like, well, how am I going to fix this? I don't have any, I got paid $10 a day. But, it's the give and take and the flip side of the coin that really makes anything in life worth doing and interesting. Stop texting me. Josh texted me twice to tell me there's pizza. He knows my soft spot, man.
From touring, what's the worst place you've ever had to sleep?
Houses, sweet people. Thank you for trying. But one time I slept in England outside of a TGI Fridays under an awning in the rain. That was a terrible night. We couldn't get a hotel room. We had money. And I was like, please let me give you money for a hotel room. Every hotel for 30 miles was booked up. And we were in this van. This is our first England tour, our first UK tour, and we didn't really know what to expect. And the band that brought us over, very, very sweet guys, and thank them so much for bringing us over and letting us experience that. But they didn't really know what they were doing either, and they rented a van that fit 9 people, It was like a 9-seater van, and there were 11 people on the tour, plus all of our gear and all of our luggage, because you don't have trailers in England. Like, it just doesn't happen. So we didn't want to, and then there's only one kid that was legally allowed to drive, because we weren't allowed to drive, and most of those kids didn't have driver's licenses. There's one kid, and so he was too tired to drive anywhere. We couldn't find a hotel because it's an agricultural show, and we ended up parking outside the hotel, and I just slept under the awning at the TGI Fridays. That was pretty legendarily bad.
That's pretty epic.
Stoke-on-Trent.
All right, so we're gonna let Dan go. Get ready for the show. It's been Dan from the Wonder Years. I'm Dan for Backstage Story. See you guys soon.
Thanks.